wants that for us. I think he wants to take us as far away from our anchor as he possibly can by making whatever it is that we want available and appealing to us. Because that by itself actually plays into how we function as musicians in the church, especially as young guys, because we're more susceptible to one of the stuff out there in the world. Yeah, we'll come to church and we'll play, and for some of us, you'll give me a check, and then I'm out. I'm gonna go down here and play with this other band who's doing something. They're going somewhere, and because I'm a musician, it adds to my swag. I mean, that's a big swag boost just being a musician. You know what I mean? And we have to be careful with that, because if we're so quick to run out and do something else after we've done church, or if we're only coming to church just to play, or if we're coming to church for a check, and we're not really focused in on the purpose of why we're there, which is helping people, not only do we mess other people up, we've completely missed it as musicians. Completely missed it. Missed the point. I don't think Satan minds us going to church, playing church, being a church musician, and not really caring about it. I think that's what he wants. I think that's what he wants. Because that means we're no longer invested in what God called us to do. We're not really there. We don't really care. And I'm a church musician who gets paid. I know that a lot of musicians, some of them, especially if you grew up in the church, you don't get paid. I get it. So you probably use it as a place to hone your skills, to get better, as a springboard to get somewhere else. What that's called is commitment to the church, which I think is good in some degree, or commitment to your gift to try to get better, or maybe even commitment to the band that's there. Just because you're cool with these people and you're a good person, everything like that, but that's not commitment to the purpose of what your gift is for. Commitment to that is living a life that may not make mistakes, because you're going to do that. It doesn't mean that you are not going to mess up, but living a life that God will be proud of if you die today. Being sensitive to his spirit and what he has to say. Reading the Bible and not just reading it, but letting it affect you and provoke you to change. Caring about the people who are in church. And I don't mean just like saying I care for you and I pray for you. I mean like really caring, developing deep relationships with the people. Because a lot of times, especially in church, you grow up with these people. These people are your family and they are your friends. And all you want to see for them is better. You don't want anyone to be sick. You don't want anyone to die. You don't want anyone to be going through something that's crazy. You want to help them out. And that's the attitude that we have to have, even as musicians. Just because we're musicians, just because we play, doesn't mean that we can't contribute to them in some spiritual way or some emotional way, in a way that they need. We have all of that in us to do that, whether it's interpersonally or while we're in the musician's pit. It's the same thing. And if we don't have this mindset, it goes right back to like, where's your priorities and where's your commitment really lie? And it goes right back to, if you don't have that mindset, then do you really love God like you say you do? Do you really follow Christ, and can you really call yourself a Christian? Like we throw that word around. Do you really? To be a musician in church is to follow Christ's example. A person who walked down the street and saw a tax collector back in his day, to be a tax collector is like being the grimiest person in the world and telling that person to follow him because he loved them. To let whore come and wash his feet. And it wasn't anything sexual. A whole bunch of, all of his friends were uneducated. Not all of them, but they were uneducated. They didn't have formal education. They weren't the smartest people. They weren't the greatest people. They weren't without their own problems. But he said, follow me. Because I have something to teach you. There's a way to be, and there's a way to live this life, and there's something coming that I need to prepare you for. But most of all, I love you. And Jesus said it himself. He said, yeah, we got all these commandments. We got all 10 of these commandments, but there's 2 that the other 8 hinges off of. That's love God and love people. Everything that we do as musicians has to hinge off of those 2, because the other 8 will fall in line with it. Everything we do has to be viewed through that lens, has to be interpreted that way. That I'm doing this not because I love playing keys, or I love playing bass, or drums, or guitar, or whatever it is that I do, or sing. I'm not doing this just because I love doing this. I do it because I love you. And in turn, I'm doing this because I love God. That has to be our perspective to music. That has to be our entire outlook to music. That has to be it. That has to be our passion. That has to be it, to the point that if you walk into a church and you realize that in the music ministry, that if there's something lacking, that your gift can fill that role and take the service to a completely new level. And not worried about getting paid about it. And I'm not saying getting paid is bad or not important. Trust me. I feed my family off of being a church musician and getting paid. But if I walk into a second service and the people up there singing and there's no keyboard player, I'll walk into the keyboard and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play, and I'm not, after service, I'm not going to go to the pastor or whoever handles the money and say, can you give me a check? I don't care. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because God sent me here to fulfill a role. And because I love you and because I love